Hello and welcome back to the We Prepare platform. We're going to talk a little bit more about our SitRep Toolkit here. We'll be in the multi-jurisdiction version for this video, but again, these all apply equally to both the single and the multi-jurisdiction versions. As always, I appreciate you being here with us, and hopefully you get some content out of this that will help you and your EOC be more efficient, more effective, again, more quickly through this simultaneous product development and data capture all at once. So with that said, let's jump into it. Tonight I wanted to talk to you guys about our 209 system here. The 209 being kind of an ICS form, right? It tells the story. I've always described it as sort of the back of the baseball card. It's more or less useful in different situations. For example, a all hazard local jurisdiction flood that is not a high occurrence. It doesn't happen often. Your county commissioners, your mayor, etc., probably will look at the 209 with their eyes crossed and not totally understand it. Where you'd be much better served probably using the briefing packet, briefing, placemat, some of that for those kind of folks. But if you're in a federal environment, wildland environment, the 209 really does become a bread and butter storyteller up channel to some of those key stakeholders, and certainly can be used for any other incident along the way. So with the 209 family, a couple of things we wanted to share with you that are in this toolkit. The 209 inputs is from the wildland space, and what it is a kind of fill in the blank document that helps the situation unit leader not have to pester the various units or sections that have ownership or authorship within the 209. And so, for example, safety, right? You can put this stuff together, hit print, and then again, we can do the custom page breaks, right? Just turn them on real fast, hit edit. Let's just drag this bad boy up. We're just going to make a safety one real quick. And you can see how easily we can kind of pull this together. Make sure these are all kind of lined up here. Alrighty, and then hit confirm. And then again, if they're not quite right, you can drag them around a little bit, but you see these kind of line up. And so now what we can do, we can either print these to PDF, single versions, right? Page, whatever, once you get over here. So let's say we just want the liaison one. We can go to custom, right? Select page 5, whatever it is, and then be good to go, or 5 and 6, something like that. Send it out to our partners and have them fill these things out. They can handwrite them, they can type them in, they can do whatever the case may be, but this may be a tool to help you, again, in an incident where you don't have a lot of folks on the ground, just you don't have enough bodies to go around, be able to input some stuff here and give them back to you. If it's useful, use it. If it's not, no worries. That said, right, really what we are looking at is this 4-page 209. When you look at it, it is designed, it's got some pull-in, right, incidents where it makes sense, it pulls them. But if it doesn't have those, you can just go through and type them right in here. Again, the percent containment, right, if it's a fire, right, we'll just say 50%. You can see how we would work our way through some of this to kind of start telling the story. Page 2, right, is really kind of the, again, the back of the baseball card, how many folks are injured, killed, quarantined, under some kind of a status. Page 3, right, is what's coming up, some of the decision support kind of stuff. What are you planning on doing? What's happening? What are you're forecasting? Page 4 is our resources. What do we have coming or going, or whatever the case. Then we get into a few add-ons if you need them. 1 through 4 really is kind of the primary, but if you're working in a heavy law enforcement kind of a scenario, these came from the Coast Guard. We can then again start telling that story a little bit more. Use of force summaries, arrests, whatever the case may be. We put in one here for search and rescue that again just dives in a little bit more deeply in that. There's another one that says a SAR summary. And again, don't, just like any ICS product, don't feel like because there's a blank it needs filled in. If you aren't doing a search and rescue, don't include the SAR forms. There's an abbreviated version that, again, if you're just trying to tell a one-page story, you can use this as a template to kind of get your point across. another different version of the abbreviated one from the Coast Guard that we pulled in here. Similar, right? This is kind of a wildland short version that, again, if you're just trying to tell the story very shortly, you can kind of put some of that together. The idea being that, again, if you're not using these, you can do a couple of things. You can hit hide sheet or delete sheet, and it'll ask you to make sure you're good with that decision. But yeah, if you're not using some of these things, take them out. This one might be a little bit more geared towards an EOC environment, and then one for the EOC environment, or excuse me, the area command environment. When you're ready, when you're done with your 209, and you've got it sort of wrapped up, let's just say we use the 4 pages plus the law enforcement. We can bring up the print menu with Control P for print, right? It's looking pretty good. We're pretty lined out there. We'll change it to workbook, and then we're going to shut off all of these other tabs. Google right now doesn't have a select all button, and so you got to kind of go through and select which ones are a no-go. And we will just shut off a bunch of these. As you can see, this would be where hiding or deleting tabs might be useful to you, so you don't have to do this every time. If you're not using some of this stuff, get rid of it, clean up your tool a little bit. We said we would pull in the 4 main pages with the LE summary as well. We'll hit apply. That creates our 5-page 209, nice and pretty. Also puts the page numbers right on there for you. You could then type in the 4 or 5 or whatever if you needed to. Got a little bit of a pagination issue there, right? So again, that would be where before we would hit print, we could either come back in here and delete a couple of lines, or go to the custom page breaks, or leave it, right, depending on how much is hanging over. Hit next, and then again, probably our recommendation would be save it as a PDF, put it in whatever file architecture you have going on, and then email it or print it to paper from there. So that kind of walks you through how the 209 summary works. If you have any questions or comments, any feedback, any of that, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're always looking for ways to make these tools better or make other tools better in the future. So as always, I do appreciate you being here. Hopefully, again, you subscribe, like, share to get this tool and others out to more folks that could potentially use them. As always, be safe, happy trails, take care.